What is up, guys? What is up, guys? Now, what is a morning without a good coffee? Hey, today I'm just going to jump in here real quickly and I want to talk about I finally got my hands on the Canon R5 Mark II. Now, this is what I've got in my hand. Here I got the Mark IIs and the Mark One. Now, this is not a quick comparison video. There's a lot of videos out there on the tech, the codecs, and what this camera really has to offer. But I'm here to share with you the 5 main reasons, although there's many reasons why I love this new R5 Mark II, the 5 main reasons why I went and upgrade to this camera, even though the R5 Mark I is still a very great camera. Now, these 5 faves of mine are all about the video specs. I'm a hybrid shooter, but I've gone sort of more to the video side of things. So I've purely upgraded this camera purely on the video specs. Let's get started. The first one, and my favorite of all, we now have C-Log 2. I can't stress how much this excites me. We now have that 16 plus stop of dynamic range. Now, I know they always give you a little bit more dynamic range on paper according to what actually is there, but who cares? Even if it's just 14, I'm still happy with that compared to the C-Log 3, which struggled quite a lot with the highlights roll off. Now I have got that beautiful C-Log 2. It's so nice to edit. I just love it. While I'm in here, I want to talk about the different codecs that we have. We now have 10-bit file in all the color profiles rather than just in the C-Log profile. So if I wanted to shoot, I think this is Canon's version of Rec 709. I've not yet to use it, but I think it's kind of like what Sony did with his Cinetone. Because if you go further down, you have the standard Rec 709. So I'm yet to try those yet, but I like the fact that we have 10-bit in all across the board rather than being forced into just shoot log if you want to shoot 10-bit, because sometimes you want to push, sometimes you want to push and pull the normal color profile. So why not give us that flexibility? Next up, they gave us the opportunity or the ability or the freedom of shooting H.265 or H.264 and still have that 10-bit color, because with the original R5 and the R6, which I'm filming on right now, once you shoot log, you're forced into H.265. And yeah, I have a pretty fast computer, I have the Mac Studio, but I'm telling you, once you start layering up those H.265, once you start stacking them up, your computer can slow down a little bit, even though it's a powerful computer, unless you've got a super computer. So it's nice to have the ability to shoot H.264 and still get 10-bit color and still shoot in C-Log. Like, come on, Canon, where have you been all this time? So you have that ability. So the XF HEVCS is the H.265 color profile, and the XFAF AVCS is the H.26 you can film in. So it's nice that they finally give that ability to do that. Next up, we finally have a full-size HDMI. Oh my goodness, I don't know how. I think this should have been my number one thing. The annoyance of shooting with the micro HDMI, like having to stressing about whether someone might snap it or whether I might break it. It's great that we've finally been given that. So thank you, Canon, for a full-size HDMI, which you should have put in this camera long time ago. But if not, you should have given us the mini like you did with the Canon R. I don't know how you went from a mini HDMI on the Canon R, the first iteration of these R system, and go back to a micro. Makes no sense. But anyway, I'm thankful that you finally given us that beautiful full-size HDMI cable. Love that. Last but not least, that pesky 30-minute record limit finally gone. Oh my God. This is like the icing on the cake. Canon, what took you so long? I actually thought you was going to give us a firmware update that would remove that from the Canon R5 Mark I. And I've been waiting. The clock's ticking. Still nothing. But thankfully, on the R5 Mark II, you've given us that like you did in the Canon R6 Mark II, and I'm grateful for that. Now, I know I said 5 reasons as to why I bought the R5, purely on the video spec side of things, but I will give you a bonus fave of mine. You ready for it? Now, on the photography side of things, the eye control autofocus. Oh my goodness. You know, a lot of people don't like AI. I mean, and for the right reasons sometimes, but when AI is used for a good reason, it's amazing. I tried it at an event on Saturday, and it was perfect chance to try it because it was crowded and there was one person who was hired to photograph. And yeah, we can register people and stuff like that, but I'm telling you, the eye autofocus, so good. I mean, people complain about this thing, but it's amazing. And I wear glasses. This is a very focal lens. So this is three lenses together, and I had no problem at all finding that person in the crowd with the eye control autofocus. Oh my goodness, this is a welcome features because I'm still a hybrid shooter, so I will still be using this camera for photography, especially when I'm at weddings. This function will do the job for me. When you don't want to register the bride and groom because you might want to shoot somebody else, you have that flexibility. Like, yeah. So that's about wrapped it up, guys, on the Canon R5 Mark II. Like I said, this wasn't a review or anything technical. There's lots of videos out there on the tech, on examples of C-Log. I mean, if you want, you can go over to Gerald Undone. He's done a really in-depth you know, video about the C-Log file and how much dynamic range you're actually getting out of it. So if you want to go and check out his video, that'll be, great. But for me, I just wanted to share with you the 5 main reasons as to why I bought this camera. Even though the R5 Mark I, it's still a proper stellar camera. Stay tuned. I have another video coming out about the 4K 60 of these cameras. So I'll be comparing the R6 Mark II, the R5 Mark I, and Mark II 4K 60s, and just by a quick side-by-side comparison, just to see how they stack up, because I know the R6 Mark II 4K 60 is pretty darn good. So I want to see how these cameras stack up because they're not oversampling their 4K 60. But I did try the 4K 60S RAW. Yeah, I'll be throwing that in there too. So that's about it, guys. So until next time, peace. I'm out. Oh, before I forget, something I'd really love to see in a future firmware update, Canon, if you're listening, is the ability to have shutter angle. There's a few more things I'd like, but that is like one of the top things I would love to see in a future update because this camera is stellar and it's now my favorite video camera of all times. Oh yeah, let me know what you're most looking forward to for future firmware updates. Do you own the R5 Mark II? What do you like about it most? Yeah, let's have a little discussion in the comment section down below. Once again, thank you guys for, keeping this channel live by showing some support, and look forward to giving you more videos like this.